Hi, it's Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky, and I'm back with my plans and PAMs. So this is a traveling time for the president and the vice president. He started in Europe, actually in the United Kingdom, meeting with the G7, the main countries that are allies of the United States, to discuss the economy, etc., and also met with not only Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister of Great Britain, but also the Queen Elizabeth, who in her later years now, she's well into her 90s. I have to give her credit. You know, I'm not really a monarchist, but this is a woman who has been around for doing her duty for a country that loves her very much. Just lost her husband recently, and certainly made time to meet with the first family for a ceremony. The president goes on now to his first NATO summit, and then meet with Vladimir Putin. It's going to be a very different meeting with Vladimir Putin than with the last administration. And I'm certainly hoping that he brings up some of the security challenges that we have seen. I think he will. And the vice president went to Central America. I wanted to say a few things about that trip. Her job is to monitor the reasons that people are leaving Central America, our closest neighbors, and coming to the United States. And of course, what she found is that the extensive violence that you see, the kind of violence that comes from gangs, but also some of the oppression from the countries themselves, sometimes very corrupt countries, and also the poverty that people are experiencing and the drought that people are experiencing, that they can't actually feed their families by growing the crops that they need. So they're leaving their countries. People don't want to leave their countries where they have family, where they have language, where they have history, but feel forced to do so, and especially for children that are coming across the border, hoping to give them a better future. Now, the vice president, I saw her say that on a television screen when she said, don't come. But I think the part that might have been missing was that there is a new way that is being developed for people to come to the United States to seek asylum by doing those kinds of paperwork that's necessary, not by coming across the border, but in their own home country. Having said that, I did feel some regret at her words, because I heard someone on television saying that people from the region, some of them would rather come to the United States and be in jail than to be in their home country where things are very dangerous. What we need is a comprehensive immigration reform to make the system that is so desperately broken, to fix it and make it a place that is welcoming for people who need to come, who deserve to come, and at the same time help those countries in Central America. One of the countries I have really paid the most attention to has been Honduras, where the president, Juan Orlando Hernandez, has actually been called a co-conspirator with his brother, who has already been convicted of drug trafficking, and a very, very dangerous place for people who want to push back, like labor union members or environmental activists or indigenous people or people who are human rights defenders. In fact, I have a piece of legislation called the Berta Cáceres Act Berta Cáceres was a very brave woman who was an environmental activist. She was murdered. And what the bill would do is say that the military and the police cannot get any funding from the United States of America. And I'm hoping that we can, I just reintroduced the bill. I'm hoping very much that I'm going to be able to get enough support to pass it. But in any case, I want to call on the President of the United States to make sure that we don't fund the kinds of corruption and murder that we are seeing in Honduras right now. I also wanted to talk to you about a bill that I introduced this week that deals with the issue of SSI, supplemental security income. Now, this is a fund that goes to people, adults and children with disabilities, but also to people over 65 years old who are very poor, who are pretty much at the bottom of the amount of money that they get. And you know that SSI, which is a very important program to help them, actually pays less than the poverty wage in the United States of America, the poverty level as set by the government. And in fact, it really has not changed very much since the 1970s when SSI first came into effect. So what this legislation would do is to raise the amount of money that people get at least to the poverty level. So, you know, moving up to still being poor, but also making the signing up for the program much easier, to streamline that and to just make the program better all around. I introduced it with Representative Grijalva and also Representative Elisa Slotkin. And so we are really going to try and do this because many people on SSI are actually homeless. And so we certainly want to make for a better program. And finally, I want to just end with COVID once again, because as you know, we have now passed June 11th, and the state and the city of Chicago and the entire state are now open. But I do want to remind you that businesses still have the option of requiring masks, and also that all of the mass transportation, and that would even include cabs and Uber and Lyft and airplanes and the trains, etc. You are required to wear a mask, and so we're definitely not out of the clear yet. It's not over, but what freedoms you have, I hope you're enjoying, and also considering, you know, what I have been pushing for, to make sure that the rest of the world has access to vaccines, because wherever the virus exists, we are at some risk everywhere. And so we're seeing some progress along that front, but still there are many, many countries that it's projected may not see a vaccine until 2022. So still be careful and have a good time and another wonderful summer week. I'll see you next week. Thank you for watching my video. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, where my handle is @Jan Schakowsky.